A deepening crisis within the New Patriotic Party, as aspiring national chair of the party, David Kankam-Boadu, has taken a swipe at the current leadership of the party for what he described as nurturing fragmentations that threaten to break down the very fabric of the party. Mr. Boadu has also been reacting to the disciplinary action against former Dom Kwabenya Member of Parliament, Sarah Josephel. He spoke in an interview with my colleague Stanley Nibleu.
Ghanaians are saying President Kufuor was telling some chiefs to stand up and greet him. All those things. Look, if we don't make mistakes, we don't learn. And when we make mistakes and we humble ourselves, then we are accepted back into our society. President Kufuor, this was not who he was. So he should go on camera and say, I apologize. You're saying this is what I've done. I take all the blame. Please forgive me. Come back to NPP. And I'm saying all those old leaders, they should just, former executives, they should sit somewhere. Because the party needs new faces to go around, apologize, kneel down and beg our members to come back to the party. Where we are now, and this is coming from David Kankam-Boadu, the danger I am telling NPP today, the last straw that will collapse the party will be a fight between BAWUMIA supporters and KEN Agyapong supporters. That will be the last straw that will collapse this party. And it's looming. So is this wrong for me to say that we must be alert? We must stay alert to try and control the supporters of KEN Agyapong and BAWUMIA, because they will collapse the party. That will be the last straw. At this juncture, we must make sure that our brothers and sisters who we feel are committing any crime against the party, we still must be very careful with them, because we cannot afford to lose more people. And if Ajua goes, she will go with a lot of people. I don't believe she's going anywhere. But also we must make sure that we put measures in place so that people will learn to speak just like David Kankam-Boadu. I don't like war within a political party, because it's a political party. We are not a boxing association, just as the way NPP became.
Very strong words there, and some have described as candid, but other members of the party disagree. You just heard the aspiring national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, David Kankam-Boadu, there. Let's subject it to some conversation, because their concerns such utterances rather deepening the division perceived within the New Patriotic Party. Dr. Jonathan Asante Otchere is a political analyst and a lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, joining us on the telephone right now. Dr. Asante Otchere, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Alfred.
First off, I mean, do you share in the same fears that David Kankam-Boadu expresses, that there's a looming fight, or altercation between the supporters of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and KEN Agyapong? Is it that clear and evident?
Well, let me say good evening once again to your good self and to your listeners. I don't know if I had to do that, but I don't know if I've already told listeners of 3FM and that of the viewers of TV3 of the demise of my mother that happened on the 29th of March 2025.
Our condolences to you, please.
Thank you, my brother. In actual fact, if you are to look at the data that Global Info Analytics just brought, in one part, it puts Dr. Bawumia ahead, but the figure is not that huge. It put Mr. KEN Agyapong, as the second or the first runner-up, so to speak. Now, as to NPP people who think that who is the major cause of the defeat of the party, I think they gave about 68 or 50 to one of the figures. I wrote it, but I forgot it. President Akufo-Addo. That of Dr. Bawumia is about 38 or so. What's the name? Dr. Prempe, they also gave a percentage. Party functionaries, they gave them a certain percentage. And so people are really pleased about the way and manner the former president conducted himself as a leader of the party. The source or the bone of contention is the fact that this data will create some kind of problem, because now the likes of the followers of Ken Agyapong will want to position themselves to ensure that they take the leadership of the party from the BAWUMIA. Why would they do so? Those who are the followers of Ken Agyapong, and probably others, would doubt Dr. BAWUMIA, believe that they are the hardcore members of the party, and that Dr. BAWUMIA is still a relic of the former president, a pale shadow of himself. And so, if he is coming back to lead the party, then it means that it is the former president and his allies that are pushing him to take over the leadership of the party. But there are other people who still believe that the leadership must change. So when the elections, when we're done with the election in 2024, and I advised the NPP to form a committee to do so, you see, some of us did not think that they were going to take Professor Makokwe to be the chair. I said, time without number, that was a very wrong decision. Yes, he's a highly respectable person within the party, but people see him as a relic of the former president. They are allies too, so to speak. And so the committee's report, I don't know how they will accept it and how they will be able to implement it. So if you look at it, then people are simply going to jockey for positions. And so that is why David Kankam-Gwedu has bluntly come out to speak plainly to the issues. And you see, he is hedging on the side of people who may want to vote against the current leadership, because I foresee a tsunami happening where those who were part of this humongous loss to the NDC will be sidestepped. And so I see his political strategy: align yourself with a disgruntled and disenchanted who may be in the majority, and then when they see that the wind, that wind of change is blowing in that direction, then you see that others who are sitting on the fence of the other side will want to join. And that is how I foresee that happen. So I see that in as much as he's being blunt, he is equally hedging as far as political future is concerned.
But you see, Dr. Asante Otchere, you say that the choice of Professor Michael Koya as the chair of this committee is a wrong one. Why is that? There are those who also disagree or hold a contrary view that he, being a former speaker, one-time member of parliament, he was key in the campaign of the party ahead of the 2024 elections and for the NPP, and then also having held different portfolios within the party, he's better placed to lead any reconciliation process as well. So what are the downsides of that decision for President Michael Koya?
You see, the downside, one, most of the things the president did, which were unpopular, he was part of it. Issues against the changing, manipulating the history of this country, that did not endear the president to the people of the Western region and that of the Central region, especially issues of Nkrumah. The changing of holidays, the days, as a way of, propping up a certain category of people who seem to come from their line. So, as long as the president is guilty of these things, Professor Makokwe, a historian, a lawyer, and for that matter, is equally guilty. So when you have a former president whose approval rating before elections in November 2024 was hovering around 27% according to Global Info Analytics, then anything that will remind the people of such a person will not encourage, it will not exude confidence. So I don't have anything against this person. I think the party has done its best for the party. It's a statement for that matter. But when you set up a committee that you want to elicit the right information, all right, and then get the support of all and sundry, then you don't take someone whom many people will see as a relic of the former president, to chair. It means that it is either the report or ignore or cover up or do a top dressing of things that may affect the former president, right, as the cause. So when you see Global Info Analytics data suggesting that about 60-something% of voters or MPP faithfuls believe that the former president was the main cause of the defeat of the MPP, then you may want to associate yourself from that particular line. That is definitely going to be a problem, still a burden for the BAWUMIA, if he doesn't find a way of ridding himself of the influences of the former president and the allies and the assigns of the former president. And cumulatively, it will affect the party and their interest and their welfare and future, fortune in elections. So you cannot downplay those factors. You cannot downplay those factors. Definitely, you need to consider all of these before. There are some of the members of the committee that others do not know. That was a good move. It means that they are going out there, they don't show whom they belong to, or the people that are going to ask, they do not know where they belong. They may have their own affiliation,
right,
but they have confidence in the they will be ready to spill the bean.
right.
But it does appear to be the case. So you see, that's the more reason why cynically Adjua said that they should have also been interested in finding out how Makokwe Jr. lost the elections. That should have been part of the report.
I see. So yes. on this Adjua matter, for instance, this what has been described as frank talk by the likes of David Kankambwe, who want to lead the party as chair. The party has instituted some disciplinary process, as it were, first having to meet Adjua. That meeting didn't take place yesterday. I mean, looking at from the political scientist perspective or analyst perspective, would you have the party go according to the disciplinary process as enshrined in the Constitution to apply the rules to whip Adjua and the likes in line, or just forget about it and forge ahead?
Well, if I'm supposed to recollect what I said on Good Night Ghana yesterday, I said that I see it as a good strategy on the part of the party executive not to drag this matter any further. They should let sleeping dogs lie. It may get worse before it gets better. Any attempt, at stifling free speech, so to speak, that may not in any way denigrate the integrity and then whatever of the party's image that is left, then I think that is okay. People will want to, jockey for position, so they are going to show some kind of bravado here and there. So I think that the party, at this point in time, they are bleeding, they are hemorrhaging, so they should be very careful whom they want to crack the whip on. If you listen to David Kankam, that's why I told you that Adjua has clout. Now, if they take Crystal Safo out of that particular place, NPP will not be able to win that particular seat again. So you learn to deal with those people in a very diplomatic, in a very convenient, way that will not afford her an opportunity to create more problems within the party. But you see, the likes of Adjua, there are hundreds and thousands of them within the party. And so if you don't manage some of the tantrums that some of these categories of people will want to put out there, then it means that the party is still going to bleed and their fortunes will dwindle. So it is either they allow people to speak freely, but they should be guided anyway, or if you crack the whip on them, what will be the future? Because now you need more people to stay within the party. That is why he called on the former president that they should go out there and apologize profusely to the people, so that after all, you, the former president, you have nothing to lose anymore. But the way and manner you run the party, you have left so many cracks within the party. Were they thinking that Alan leaving the party was not going to affect the fortunes of the party? They were deluded. If they thought that was the case, they were deluded. The kinds of things Ken Agyapongs said in the run-up to the elections, the internal elections, if they thought that was not going to affect the fortune of the party, then they were equally deluded. And so the cracks would be there. Now, there are factions within the NPP. You are going to have President Kufuor's faction, President Akufo-Addo's faction. I don't know whether President Akufo-Addo's faction could be added to Dr. BAWUMIA, or Dr. BAWUMIA being the new or emerging, star of the party is also going to have its own, faction, and then that of KEN AGYAPONG. So you could see that this in itself creates fragmentation.
Right.
The problem the NDC may also have is how they will handle the transition. If they're able to handle it clearly and the president is able to leave the economy and build the economy the way they intend to build it, and it will nurture the benefit of the people, it will be difficult for the NPP to come back in 2028.
Wow.
And so there are different factors, that they will have to consider. But of course, people will also want to stake a claim for the position in the near future.
I appreciate your thoughts. Dr. Jonathan Asante Otchere is a political analyst, a lecturer at the University of Cape Coast Political Science Department, joining us here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.3.